Hey, everybody, welcome into Faith in Football. My name is Neil. It is Thanksgiving week, guys. That means no bye weeks. That means a lot of football in multiple days. We got games on Thursday, obviously, but we also have a special Black Friday game between the Raiders and the Chiefs. Then we've got the Sunday night slate, the Monday night game. Guys, it is going to be wonderful this weekend. The only thing that would be better is if it actually snowed in South Louisiana, and I know that's not going to happen. But, you know, we can always turn on one of those screensaver things and watch the snowfall or tune into the Green Bay game, which is supposed to be 30-ish degrees at game time. And it's a night game. And it's against Miami, whose quarterback grew up in Hawaii, plays in Miami, went to college in Alabama. So yeah, he didn't have a whole lot of experience with the snow. So we'll see how that one goes. But as always, guys, you know what time it is. You all know that we always put faith first. So we're going to dive into the faith and then we'll dive into the football. So in going about trying to find a verse for today. I know, like, I could have gone a whole bunch of different ways. I could have gone with thankfulness because it's Thanksgiving. Um, this is a start sit, so a decision thing. I could have gone a whole lot of ways. Here's the thing: is that a lot of us are going to see family this weekend or this week, tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Recording this on Wednesday, so you guys are probably watching this. If this gives you an escape from your family, great, awesome. But that's for those family members you really don't want to see, you really have a hard time with. But that's what this scripture talks about. And it translates into everyday life as well. But a lot of us have an issue with venting. We have, anger that builds up and we just want to vent. We want to get it out and, get it out of our system. And that's what we tell ourselves, that it's a good thing to vent as long as you're not, cussing and fussing and, raising hell and all that stuff, that it's okay to vent. Here's the thing. Is it really? Because you're still saying those words, you're still feeling those emotions. You haven't turned those over to God. So what good is it to vent if you're still going to have to answer for what's coming out of your mouth? Like, the Bible tells us that we will have to answer for every utterance at the judgment. So rather than vent and have to answer for a whole lot of stuff that didn't do you any good anyway, how about we just get a different attitude, get a different perspective, and try to look at things in a different way? Here's a verse to help you out. Proverbs 29:11. Now, I got this from reading The Power of a Praying Husband. If you are a husband, I'm talking to the guys. If you are a husband and you have not read this book, I encourage you, go get it and read it. It is called The Power of a Praying Husband. They also have Power of Praying Wife. That was the first one. Then they also have The Power of Praying for Your Adult Children. There's like a whole Power of Praying Grandparent, all that kind of stuff. They've got like a whole line of it. But the two that I personally am exposed to is Power of Praying Wife. My wife actually is reading that one, and Power of a Praying Husband. And it's been so insightful. I encourage you, go out and get it. Look, if you get it and you read it, down below, hit me up. I want to know what you think about it. Down below, subscribe, like, share, leave me a comment on what you think about the book. But this was the verse brought up in I believe it was chapter 19, called Her Obedience. And it talked about, the things that your wife goes through, and the problems that she has, where she wants to change things. She wants to use her words to express her feelings and things like that. But not everything that goes through our mind, goes through our brain, needs to come out of our mouth. And if you're playing fantasy football and you're watching the games, there's a lot of times that the stuff that comes in your head because of what happened in the game doesn't need to come out of your mouth. Um, because the people sitting around you, while they might understand, it's still not a good example. So kind of watch the game. Yeah, look, I get involved with it. I first look. Washington lost to Dallas. I was not happy at all. And I wasn't happy about having to watch the rest of the day with them replaying everything on every single highlight. So, yeah, I had to do a little practice what you preach type thing here. But Proverbs chapter 19, verse 11. I'm sorry, chapter 29, verse 11 reads like this: Fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold it back. See, it doesn't say that you don't have anger. It doesn't say that you're immune from being angry. It just says that you hold it back quietly. Like, don't let it come out. That's because when it comes out, it doesn't always end well. So I know like I said, a lot of us are going to be seeing family members. There's going to be something said about something, and you're going to want to come back at somebody for something that was said. I don't know what your particular family dynamic is, but you all know what I mean. You know that there's a subject that you're not supposed to touch on that somebody eventually will. Now, whether it's alcohol induced or whether that's just somebody, you know, wants to cause trouble, regardless, don't entertain it. Don't fall into that trap. That's a trap laid by the enemy to get you out of character and mess up your witness for your family. Like, if you're normally the one who mouths off at holidays, how about you try being the one that is pleasant, the one that is helpful, that kind of thing? Then that will show your family the fruit of the Holy Spirit in you. And as Jesse says, the only Jesus people see is a Jesus in you and me. So this holiday season, this Thanksgiving, when you go and get in that family dynamic and you get in that situation where you have a choice, you can either pop off or you can walk away or diffuse the situation and not let it bother you. Let's do what Christ would do and calm down and diffuse the situation. All right, guys. So I'm hoping that that can carry into your Thanksgiving celebration. Remember, I want to see some comments down below what you got for Thanksgiving, what you got planned. We got a bunch of stuff planned, guys. I got sweet potato casserole, green bean casserole, stuffed and mashed potatoes, of course, the turkey. My wife loves cranberry sauce out of the can. Don't ask me why. I don't know. She just does. 10 years, I haven't been able to break her of it. So anyway, and of course, Hawaiian rolls. Can't have Thanksgiving without Hawaiian rolls. So we got a lot of football to get to. We're going to try to get this as quick as possible because it's late. I was home, home a little late and didn't get to record this until tonight. So with that being said, you guys know what time it is. Look, Zia Rotisserie Bar is closed tomorrow. They're at 235 Duce Road, right off of Johnson Street in Lafayette, Louisiana. So on Black Friday, when you're out and you're shopping and you're in the midst of all that craziness, if you're still doing that kind of thing, you haven't discovered online shopping yet, um, and you need a place to go eat, 235 Duce Road in Lafayette, Louisiana. They will be open at 11 o'clock to handle all of your Black Friday hunger needs. And look, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, go down there, click the subscribe button, make sure that you show Zia this, and they will give you one free appetizer for the table from me for you on them, whatever you want. You want the Med hummus, the Mediterranean hummus, it's yours. You want the Asian almond shrimp, no problem. You want to take the ribs for a spin before you commit to them for your entree, they got that too. You can either get a 4-bone or a 6-bone appetizer from Zia Rotisserie Bar. And look, the holidays are here, Christmas parties are happening. If you need something catered or you need a place to hold it, Zia can help you out on both fronts. They have a VIP back room that is absolutely amazing for privacy. You guys want that? Call them up, 337-406-0013. Ask for Andy, and he will be more than happy to help you with all of your catering needs. You want them to bring it to you? Cool, no problem. They got you. They do on-site catering as well. They can either bring it to you and you can set it up, you can serve it, or they can have somebody there to help you serve it, whatever you want to do. But that's Zia Rotisserie Bar, 235 Duce Road, Lafayette, Louisiana. Call them up, 337-406-0013. Friday morning, they're open 11 o'clock until 9 p.m. So check them out. Make sure that you told them that you heard about them here on Faith and Football and get your free appetizer. So one thing I do want to remind you guys of before we get into the Thanksgiving Day games and my start set for this week, bye week 14. Okay. This is another apocalypse. We had one last week. We got a break this week. There are no buys this week. So there's a lot of football to be played. All of your guys are available unless they're injured. Make sure that you're checking out those injury reports. I'm going to be going over some key guys here in a minute. But bye week, right now, you got the Colts, Washington, the Patriots, Denver, and Texans and Ravens all on a bye for week 14. So make your adjustments to your lineup. Make sure you're looking ahead on the waiver wire right now. Go check out what your opponent needs for week 14. Then go through the waiver wire, see who's available that could help out your opponent and get it before they get you. Okay. That's very basic fantasy football, but it's fantasy football on another level. And that's what I'm here to help you guys with, is playing chess, not checkers. So here's the thing. This is 2 weeks left in the regular season. There are a lot of, hold on, guys. Sorry, had a trade come through. Yeah, I know it's late, but I'm the commissioner. So anyway, um, but yeah, 2 weeks left in the regular season, guys. You got to make those moves now because there might not be a week 15 for you. So check it out. Make sure you're making the moves. If you need some help, down below, hit me up. Let me know what you're dealing with, and I'll help you out. So, reminder: anybody playing Thursday, Thanksgiving, and Friday night, make sure that they are in their position. Make sure if they're a wide receiver, they're in a wide receiver position. If they're a running back, they're in a running back position. Do not put them in your flex position so you can have more flexibility in your lineup. That would be anybody. The 3 games Thursday are the Bears, the Lions versus the Lions. That's going to be, of course, in Detroit. Then you got the Giants, Cowboys, of course, in Dallas. Dolphins, Packers at Lambeau. Now, the reason that I brought up the fact that Tua Tagovailoa is from Hawaii, went to college in Alabama, and plays in Miami, that's because, if I'm not mistaken, they're like 1-7 whenever they played in a game when the game time temperature is below 40 degrees. And the game time temperature at Lambeau tomorrow should be 30-ish. So he's made a big deal about he wants to break the narrative. I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm not saying sit to it because since he's come back, he's been a stud. I get it. But you might want to temper your expectations. And if you've got a better matchup, because the defense in Green Bay is legit, y'all. So if you got a better option, you might want to consider playing that. One better option that's coming up this week, and well, I tell you what, I actually put them on my set last minute. And I actually did sit Tua as my set of the week. So let's get into set of the weeks. But first, I do want to remind you guys, Chiefs, Raiders in Kansas City, Friday night, Black Friday, very special game on Amazon. So I've got Amazon Prime. You watch the game. If not, what are you doing? Go get Amazon. Come on. Hashtag not a sponsor. But if you want to, I'm available. So let's start with sits since I kind of leaned into that a little bit. Real quick. You guys know what time it is. Look, I got a very special treat for y'all. I've been talking about this for weeks. I got my pies. I'm going to show them to you. And from none other than Keller's Bakery in Youngsville, my sweetest sponsor. They are at 627 Lafayette Street, Youngsville, Louisiana. Now, if you go down there and you show them, it's Tuesday through Saturday that they're open from 6 a.m. until 3 p.m. Now, if you go down there and you show them that you are a subscriber of this channel, then you will get 2 free cookies on them. Okay. So I got my pie. The pecan pie. Dude, look how good this is. This is delicious. I'm telling you right now, this is a killer pie. Okay. We've had this probably every year that I've done this show and played fantasy football, because one of the owners of Keller's plays in my league. So he sponsors me and I get pie from him. So not for free, just letting you know, I do pay for pie. So, but I also got lemon meringue for the first time this year. We did 2 pies, because I want a lemon. So we're going to show you guys this. Look. And I don't even know if the camera does this justice, but look how high this is. This is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to dive into this pie on Thanksgiving, watching some football. It's going to be amazing. As long as the Cowboys lose. It'll be even sweeter when Dallas loses. So, but yeah, guys, if you want a pie like that, go down to Keller's Bakery, 627 Lafayette Street, Youngsville, Louisiana. Remember, the Youngsville location, not the downtown location of Lafayette. 627 Lafayette Street, Youngsville, Louisiana. You can also find them online at www.kellersbakery.com. Give them a call. Sorry, kellers-bakery.com. And you can give them a call, 337-856-4449. So you need something, you call them up, make your order for your Christmas party, for your holiday get together on Christmas Day, because it's a little late for Thanksgiving, but get them next year for Thanksgiving, get them this year for Christmas, and they'll hook you up with a couple of free cookies when you go down there, pick up your pie. Nobody has to know about the cookies except you and me. That's it. All right. So go down there and check them out and tell my boy Dusty I said, hey, and thanks for the pie. So sits of the week. Tua Tagovailoa. I already talked about this matchup with the Packers. They are only allowing 14.7 points to the quarterback position on the year. So Yeah, I'm looking for a different option other than Tua this week. Also coming off of a bye is Joe Burrow. Now, Joe is not walking into a really good matchup. As a matter of fact, he is walking into the worst quarterback matchup you could possibly get. He's going to face Pittsburgh. Now, I encourage you, go check the weather report for this game because whether it's in Cincinnati or Pittsburgh, it doesn't really matter because this is going to be cold. They already had snow in Pittsburgh, guys. This is not going to be a good matchup. Pittsburgh is allowing 13.1 points to the quarterback position. That's dead lat or actually best in the league. And on the defensive side, it's the worst one in the league if you're on the quarterback side of this. So next up, running back James Conner versus the Vikings. Now, the Vikings are one of those pass funnels, but their run defense is absolutely top notch. They're only allowing 15.2 points to position. And you might be thinking, okay, well, 15 points, I can deal with that. That's cool. Divide that by two because there's usually two running backs. That's what you have to do when you're looking at these numbers when I'm giving them to you. 15.2 points to position divided by two guys. It's only like 7.5 points. You really want 7.5 points when you're starting running back? Nope. So, James Conner, yeah, you're probably looking for a better matchup right now. Also, talking about a better matchup, how about Javonte Williams versus Cleveland? Giving up 17.4 points to position. Again, divide by two. That's what, 8.5 points? It's only a point better. Okay. So Javonte Williams, if you saw him last week, he was absolutely horrible last week. Him and Audric Estimate. It all went to Courtland Sutton. So I'm telling you guys right now, if you got James Conner, if you got Javonte Williams, look for a better matchup or temper your expectations of the output for these two guys. Next up, Terry McLaurin versus Titans. And I know what you might be thinking. Oh, Terry did so well last week. He scored a like 70-yard touchdown. It was awesome. Yes, it was awesome. Yes, I love seeing it, but it happened with 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Guys, if it had not been for that 70-yard touchdown, people would be rage dropping Terry McLaurin right now. Okay. Which I personally wouldn't mind because I would pick him up. But for this matchup against the Titans defense, giving up 23 points to the position, divide that by three. You're talking a little over 7 points for your wide receiver? No, I'm good. I'll find somebody else. Speaking of finding somebody else, now look, I did not put Chase on this, Jamar Chase on this list for the very simple reason that it's Jamar Chase. Like he's going to get his. He can pop off. But his counterpart or his teammate, T. Higgins, he's on this list. Going up against Pittsburgh, facing a defense giving up 23.7 points to the position. Guys, I don't want that for my team. Okay. It's the same as Terry McLaurin going against the Titans. It's only a 0.7 difference. So, quarterback, Tua versus the Packers. Set them. Joe Burrow versus Pittsburgh. Nope. Thank you. I'm good. James Conner versus the Vikings. Javonte Williams versus Cleveland. I'm good. Terry McLaurin versus the Titans. Look, until they switch this up and they figure out how to get Terry more involved or they actually start throwing downfield, I'm good on Terry McLaurin. If you've got him and you haven't passed your trade deadline yet, trade him. Try to get something out better back, okay? T. Higgins versus Pittsburgh. No, thank you. I'm good. Now, in the other end of the spectrum, we're looking at C.J. Stroud versus the Jags, which is the best quarterback matchup that you could possibly imagine. They're giving up 24.1 points to the position in Jacksonville. This team is toast, okay? Their defense is garbage. So C.J. Stroud should have a killer day, and he traditionally slaughters the Jags in this matchup on a yearly basis. Now, real quick. I gotta see something because I forgot to write down who this guy is playing. There we go. So I did everything on my research except write down who they're playing. Who is Justin Herbert? Now, Justin Herbert is playing Atlanta. Now, Atlanta can put up some points, which means that they're going to have points scored to match them. Justin could do that. Okay. Yes, he faltered a little bit against the Ravens. It was the Ravens, guys. Okay. So, Justin Herbert versus the Falcons. Falcons are giving up 22.2 points to the quarterback position. Guys, that's an outstanding matchup. Plus the fact that J.K. Dobbins is probably out for, or actually, I'm sorry, he is out for this week. So, with his knee problem, the report is a strained meniscus, which is, I think, the only tendon that he didn't rupture in his last knee injury. So he's out. Gus Edwards is in. So make sure that you go out and grab him. I would not start him this week until they figure out the backfield with the Chargers. Next up, we're talking about a backfield that needs to be figured out. The Bucks, Bucky Irving, and Rashad White versus the Panthers, guys. It really doesn't matter who you have. If you got either one of these guys, start both of them. Okay. Because the Panthers are giving up 28.2 points to the running back position. That is the best matchup in the league. Another good matchup. Ramondre Stevenson versus the Colts. Guys, this game right here, I don't know what to make of the Colts. 1 week, they're great. 1 week, they're horrible. I don't know. Don't ask me. I'd have to do some deep diving to figure this out. But Ramondre Stevenson, we know that Antonio Gibson is not getting any kind of play. So Ramondre is all that New England has in a run game. He's going to be getting at least 90% of the action from the backfield. And the Colts are giving up 23.5 points to the running back position. That is an outstanding number to have for this matchup. Next up, talking about a really good matchup that you want to be a part of. Again, Justin Herbert's boy, Lad McConkey versus the Falcons, giving up 31.6 points to position. Guys, divided by 3. That's over 10 points to your wide receiver position. And with Quentin Johnson dropping balls, with Josh Palmer not being able to catch, the only one that they're able to depend on, Lad McConkey. So if you got Lad, fire him up against Atlanta and enjoy. Now, this next guy, it's going to take a little bit of courage to start him because he has been really, really up and down multiple times this year. However, he is getting an absolutely fabulous matchup with the Jags. And you guys probably know who I'm talking about. It's one of the only Tank Dell. So Tank Dell in the wide receiver position. They're giving up 34.1 points to the position. Look, yes, Nico is going to just ball out. But they got to throw to somebody else besides him, right? Who's number 2? Who is the wide receiver that CJ Stroud, the quarterback of the Texans, called one of the best in the league? Whether or not it's true or not, that's what CJ thinks of Tank Dell. So fire him up. Go ahead and start him against Jacksonville, guys. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Well, guess what? This blind squirrel is about to fall into a whole mess of nuts. So fire up Tank Dell and again, enjoy. So I'm going to give you guys a little bonus tight end action here. Whether it is Jawan Johnson or Taysom Hill, either one you have, go ahead, fire them up. 11.2 points to the tight end position against the Rams. And guys, do they really have anybody else to throw to beside MBS in New Orleans? Nope. They got Alvin Kamara coming out of the backfield, and that's about it. Now, we know that Matthew Stafford and company can put up mega points. What they can't do in LA apparently is defend. So yeah, Derek Carr should have a fabulous game. No, he didn't make my starts of the week, but definitely somebody to consider now. I will bring this guy up one more time just to see what happens. But keep an eye on Russell Wilson because the Cincinnati defense is horrible. So, yeah, just keep an eye on. I'm not telling you to start him again because I did that 2 weeks in a row and he wasn't good. So, but somebody to keep an eye on if you need a little help in the quarterback department. Maybe your matchup isn't that good and you got, Russell Wilson sitting on your bench just taking up space. So, don't. And guys, remember a lot of stuff going on downtown Lafayette. Uh, they got holidays kicking off. They're going to have small bits Saturday kicking off. So if you are in the downtown Lafayette, Louisiana area, make sure you go stop by 603 Jefferson Street, downtown Lafayette, inside of Gordon Square, where you find the one and the only Ami's Groceries, which is a sponsor of the show. I love them to death. Guys, go down there and check them out. They have a small kitchen that kicks out really big flavor. Go see what they have while you're walking around downtown. You get a little hungry, it's the place to go. Also, if you're working downtown, you're in that area, and you don't want to cook, you just had a hard day, go in, check them out. They've got pre-done meals that you can get. And on top of that, they've got over 200 local items from over 50 local vendors. Make sure you go down and check them out. Freeze-dried candy, Wagyu beef jerky, farm fresh eggs, you name it, they got it. It's all local, helping out the local economy and the local vendors in the area. Go down there and check them out. Ami's Groceries, 603 Jefferson Street, off or inside of Gordon Square. Go down and check them out. Tell them Neil from Faith and Football sent you, and ask them where's the freeze-dried candy. It's right in the window. Get you some. You won't be disappointed. So, I know the holidays bring up all kinds of traditions and stuff, and everybody has their own. One of the things growing up that we did was we would go around the table, and this was at my grandma's house. We would go around the table and give thanks for one thing that we were thankful for. Well, because it's my show, I get to do a couple. Of course, thankful for my wife, Amanda, thankful for our kids, um, and thankful that I get to come on here and have the support of my wife to do this show. So she deserves a big thank you. So thank you, honey. I love you. Um, and I'm thankful for you guys for tuning in and spending a little time with the guy who just loves fantasy football and wants to impart some knowledge and help out some people. So thank you all for making this happen and for continuing to support this channel. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe, like, share, all that kind of good stuff. Smash the notification button so you know when I put out new content or go live. And guys, just have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. And always remember, football's good, but God is greater. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week. And we're going to be 1 week closer to the playoffs. Saddle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride.